Us now is former BC Premier Christy Clark. Nice to see you. I love the hat. Go Whitecaps.
Go Caps.
Okay, let's talk pipeline for a second. We just heard from the current Premier David Eby. His words, there's no route, there's no company, there's no money. What do you make of it?
Well, I think David Eby doesn't know a whole lot about building pipelines or creating economic growth through resources because, there's a couple of options here. All of them, though, have to be started by somebody. And, Danielle Smith has taken it upon herself to force everybody to think about this and to start making a decision about what we're going to do. So it has to start somewhere. Everything starts with an idea. She's come up with an idea. She's putting it together and she's presenting it to the federal government and to BC. That's the only way to get it started. And for David Eby to say, well, we don't know where it's going yet. Well, you know what? Somebody has to start the conversation, and that's what she's doing.
But isn't it somewhat concerning that there is no company on side?
Well, the thing is that after 10 years of economic doldrums from the previous government, there isn't a lot of investment interest in Canada, period. So the job of premiers and the Prime Minister right now is to create opportunities for investment and to create an environment that appears to be stable and safe for investment. And, I think Mark Carney's been working pretty hard at that. I think Danielle Smith is contributing now to it too. But the investors won't come until there are projects to be built. And they will also only come if those projects have some hope of success. That's the seeds of what we're seeing now. And, at the end of the day, it's the investors that are going to decide whether or not these projects are going to go ahead because they won't put money in it if they don't think it's going to happen.
And what do you make of Eby's counter-argument that we don't need a new pipeline, what we need is enhanced capacity on the existing Trans Mountain to the Burnaby terminal?
Well, I think both are possible, and why not? The world needs more British Columbia, more Canadian resources. We do it better than anybody else in the world, and nobody wants to continue to be held hostage by the American market or the Russians. People are looking to us, and I think if we can build the capacity, and maybe that's 2 pipelines, maybe it's enhancing the Trans Mountain pipeline and building another. How can that be bad for Canada? It just means that we have more opportunity to diversify our markets, create wealth and jobs for Canadians. And I don't think really we're in a position right now to be sniffing our noses and saying, oh dear, we don't want to create any more wealth in Canada. We do, we should, and we have a moment in time where there's a big opportunity.
Do you think there is a possibility that coastal First Nations will get on board with this?
It's always possible. When we started LNG talks in 2011, everybody said it was terrible. Nobody will do it. And the First Nations were almost uniformly opposed to it. And all of them are now, well, many of them, most of them are now doing it themselves, starting their own projects, not ones that were conceived in the government. So these guys, I think when there's wealth and jobs and opportunity and people really start getting a look at it, they might position themselves as opponents at the beginning. But what we've seen in BC with LNG in particular is that people start to come on side because, a lot of First Nations live in poverty. And the only solution to poverty is the creation of wealth.
All right, former BC Premier Christy Clark, thanks for joining us today. Go Whitecaps.
Go Caps. Thanks.